So CheckMate 358 is a really interesting study, sort of one in a series of phase 1-2 trials looking at Nivolumab, which is an anti-PD-1 monoclonal antibody. And so this particular study was open for patients who had recurrent or metastatic cervical, vulvar, and vaginal cancer. So they're really looking for squamous cell cancers with of HPV, human papillomavirus origin. Patients had to have less than 2 prior therapies, and they received Nivolumab at the standard dose of 240 milligrams every 2 weeks until toxicity or disease progression. And the majority of patients on this trial were cervical as expected, but there were a few patients with vulvar and vaginal cancer, which I think is important because those tumors are often excluded, almost all the time excluded from cervical cancer trials, and so we don't really have great data for any kind of targeted therapy in that very rare tumor, so it's nice to have them included even in small numbers, so we have kind of a sense of maybe what potential there may be for this drug. So that's sort of the study in general. There were a few patients on the study who had had no prior systemic chemotherapy, but most had had 1 to 2, usually 1 prior. And you know, we have the most data, of course, in cervical cancer, where unfortunately, when you have recurrent or metastatic disease, the standard of care is systemic chemotherapy with a platinum-based regimen, including or not including bevacizumab as is appropriate for the patient, which is a great regimen, and we actually improved overall survival based on our GOG 240 data, so we're very happy and grateful for that, but it's not curative. And so when those patients either progress or recur following that regimen, we really have nothing that has any anticipated efficacy for these women who are often young and still of good performance status and really want to try something, but they want to try something that has a hope and a prayer of working. And so we have a myriad of cytotoxic agents that you can try, but the likelihood of them working with any kind of meaningful response is less than 10%.